Welcome, wanderers of the dark and seekers of the unknown, to Whispers on the Asphalt, your go-to channel for spine-tingling tales and haunted histories. Here, we explore the eerie corners of the world where shadows stretch longer than they should and the hum of tires on pavement is often accompanied by whispers from beyond. Today, we embark on a chilling journey along some of the most haunted highways in the Pacific Northwest, a region renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, dense forests, and a rich tapestry of folklore that blurs the line between myth and reality. The Pacific Northwest, with its mist-shrouded mountains, winding coastal roads, and endless stretches of wilderness, has long been a breeding ground for ghostly legends and unexplained phenomena. These highways, carved through rugged terrain and steeped in history, are more than mere conduits for travel. They are corridors of mystery, where the past lingers like fog over a moonlit lake. From spectral hitchhikers to phantom vehicles, from cursed landmarks to blood-soaked stretches of asphalt, these roads hold secrets that defy explanation and challenge the boundaries of belief. In this two-part series, we will peel back the layers of the supernatural, revealing the haunting stories behind the region's most infamous routes. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your courage tested as we delve into the unknown. So buckle up, keep your headlights on, and join us as we navigate the shadowy highways of the Pacific Northwest. Let the journey begin. The enchanted forest of Highway 20, a realm where reality dissolves. Nestled within the heart of Washington state lies one of the Pacific Northwest's most enigmatic thoroughfares, Highway 20, a road that winds its way through dense evergreen forests, jagged mountain passes, and serene alpine meadows. Known officially as the North Cascades Highway, this route is celebrated for its jaw-dropping vistas and seasonal beauty, drawing tourists and adventurers year-round. Yet beneath its picturesque surface lies a darker narrative, one steeped in eerie encounters, inexplicable disappearances, and whispers of an otherworldly presence. To drive along Highway 20 after dusk is to enter what locals call the Enchanted Forest, a realm where the boundary between reality and the supernatural seems perilously thin. The legend of Highway 20's hauntings begins with its geography. Stretching over 170 miles from the Skagit Valley to the Methow Valley, the highway traverses some of the most remote and untamed wilderness in the region. In winter, heavy snowfall forces portions of the road to close, isolating communities and leaving travelers vulnerable to the elements, and perhaps something more sinister. It is during these isolated months, when silence reigns supreme and darkness envelopes the landscape, that reports of strange occurrences spike. Motorists recount tales of being pursued by shadowy figures darting between trees, their outlines barely visible under the glow of headlights. Others describe hearing disembodied voices calling out from the forest, urging them to stop or turn back. Some claim to see glowing eyes peering from the underbrush, only to vanish moments later without a trace. Among the most chilling accounts associated with Highway 20 is the recurring apparition of a woman clad in white, often spotted walking along the shoulder of the road late at night. Known locally as the Bride of Diablo, her story dates back to the early 20th century, when a young bride named Eleanor vanished mysteriously during her honeymoon trip through the North Cascades. According to lore, Eleanor and her husband were traveling along Highway 20 when their car skidded off the icy road and plunged into a ravine. While her husband survived, Eleanor was never found, her fate shrouded in speculation and sorrow. Decades later, motorists began reporting sightings of a spectral figure resembling Eleanor, wandering aimlessly near the site of the accident. Drivers who stopped to offer assistance described feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness emanating from the woman, her translucent form dissolving into mist before their eyes. Equally unsettling are the legends surrounding Devil's Gulch, a treacherous stretch of Highway 20 infamous for its sharp curves and steep drop-offs. Named for the tragic accidents that have occurred there over the years, the gulch is said to be cursed by the spirits of those who perished in its depths. Locals speak of phantom vehicles speeding recklessly along the road, their headlights blazing but their drivers unseen. Attempts to pass or signal these ghostly cars result in sudden, inexplicable malfunctions, engines stalling, brakes failing, radios emitting static-filled shrieks. More disturbingly, some travelers report hearing faint screams echoing from the canyon below, believed to be the cries of victims trapped in limbo. Paranormal investigators who have ventured into Devil's Gulch claim to have captured EVP recordings of anguished voices pleading for help, while thermal cameras reveal heat signatures lingering in areas devoid of human activity. Perhaps the most pervasive legend tied to Highway 20 involves the so-called forest watchers, ethereal beings said to inhabit the dense woods lining the road. Described as tall, humanoid figures with elongated limbs and luminous eyes, these entities are rumored to observe passing vehicles from the shadows, their movements fluid yet unnatural. Witnesses report feeling an intense pressure building in their chests as they drive past certain sections of the highway, as though unseen eyes are boring into their souls. Some describe seeing fleeting glimpses of the forest watchers reflected in their rearview mirrors, their faces obscured by swirling mist. Native American tribes indigenous to the area warn that these creatures are guardians of the forest, punishing those who disrespect the land or disturb its sacred balance. What makes Highway 20 uniquely terrifying is not just its haunted reputation but the psychological toll it takes on those who traverse it. The isolation, combined with the oppressive weight of towering trees and the ever-present hum of wind rushing through the valleys, creates an atmosphere ripe for paranoia and dread. Even seasoned travelers admit to feeling uneasy as they navigate its twists and turns, especially after sunset when visibility drops and the forest seems alive with movement. For those brave, or foolish, enough to venture onto Highway 20 during its loneliest hours, the experience is akin to stepping into a dreamlike state where logic falters and fear reigns supreme. Yet, despite, or perhaps because of, its ominous aura, Highway 20 remains a magnet for thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts alike. And infrared cameras have descended upon its haunted stretches, hoping to capture evidence of the supernatural. One particularly famous investigation involved a group of researchers who spent an entire night parked near Devil's Gulch. As dawn approached, they captured footage of a translucent figure standing atop the guardrail, its silhouette illuminated by the rising sun before vanishing completely. Skeptics may dismiss such accounts as tricks of light or overactive imaginations, but for those who've experienced the highway's spectral side firsthand, there's little doubt that something, or someone, is watching. As we continue our journey through the haunted highways of the Pacific Northwest, remember that Highway 20 is not merely a road, it is a threshold between worlds. A place where the echoes of tragedy linger, and the forest itself seems alive with secrets. Whether viewed as a scenic marvel or a haunted labyrinth, it serves as a stark reminder that beauty and danger often walk hand in hand. So, whether you're cruising through its majestic passes or braving its shadowy curves, tread lightly. You never know what might be lurking just beyond the tree line. The ghostly echoes of U.S. Route 101, a haunted coastal odyssey stretching nearly 1,500 miles along the rugged coastline of the Pacific Northwest. U.S. Route 101 is a lifeline connecting bustling cities, quaint seaside towns, and vast swaths of untamed wilderness. Known affectionately as the Pacific Coast Highway, this iconic roadway offers travelers unparalleled views of crashing waves, jagged cliffs, and lush rainforests. Yet beneath its idyllic facade lies a darker legacy, one woven with threads of tragedy, loss, and the supernatural. Along its serpentine path, countless souls have met untimely ends, leaving behind echoes of their final moments that reverberate through time. For those who dare to travel its haunted stretches, U.S. Route 101 becomes more than a scenic drive. It transforms into a portal to the past, where the dead refuse to rest. One of the most notorious sections of U.S. Route 101 lies near the small coastal town of Astoria, Oregon, where the Columbia River meets the Pacific Ocean. This convergence of waterways has long been a hub of maritime activity, but it is also infamous for its treacherous currents and unpredictable weather. Known as the Graveyard of the Pacific, the mouth of the Columbia has claimed over 2,000 ships since the 18th century, each wreck adding another layer to the region's haunted history. Travelers along Route 101 near Astoria report eerie encounters linked to these maritime disasters. On foggy nights, drivers describe seeing ghostly vessels adrift just offshore, their masts swaying gently despite the absence of wind. Closer examination reveals no physical ship, only ripples on the water's surface, as if the ocean itself is mourning its lost cargo. Further south, near the Oregon coast's iconic Haystack Rock, lies a stretch of Route 101 steeped in spectral lore. Here, witnesses recount sightings of a spectral hitchhiker known as the Lady in Grey. Dressed in tattered Victorian-era clothing, she appears suddenly on the roadside, her face obscured by a veil of mist. Those who stop to offer her a ride describe an overwhelming sense of melancholy emanating from the passenger seat. Conversations with the woman are fragmented and cryptic, often ending abruptly when she vanishes without warning, leaving behind only the faint scent of salt water and roses. Local historians speculate that the Lady in Grey may be the spirit of a grieving widow who lost her husband to the sea, forever searching for closure along the very road where his body washed ashore. As Route 101 snakes its way into California, the haunting intensifies around Big Sur, a region renowned for its dramatic cliffs and ethereal beauty. Beneath its postcard-perfect exterior lies a history marred by shipwrecks, suicides, and disappearances. One particularly chilling tale centers around Bixby Creek Bridge, an engineering marvel that spans a deep canyon carved by relentless tides. Built in the 1930s, the bridge was constructed at great human cost, with several workers losing their lives during its creation. Their spirits are said to haunt the structure, manifesting as shadowy figures pacing along the railing or leaping into the void below. Drivers crossing Bixby Creek Bridge at night report hearing faint cries carried on the wind, accompanied by the sensation of being watched from above. Beyond individual landmarks, entire segments of U.S. Route 101 are reputed to be cursed. Near Mendocino, California, a 20-mile stretch of the highway earned the nickname the Phantom Mile, due to a string of inexplicable accidents and disappearances dating back decades. Authorities have struggled to explain why so many vehicles veer off the road into the dense redwood forests, never to be seen again. Search parties dispatched to locate missing persons often return empty-handed, claiming to feel an oppressive force driving them away from the search area. Some believe the Phantom Mile is home to malevolent entities that lure unsuspecting travelers to their doom, while others attribute the phenomenon to residual energy left behind by indigenous tribes displaced during colonization. Paranormal investigators flock to U.S. Route 101 in droves, drawn by its reputation as a nexus of supernatural activity. Using tools like electromagnetic field detectors and thermal imaging cameras, researchers have captured compelling evidence suggesting the presence of unexplained phenomena. EVP recordings taken near Astoria revealed disembodied voices speaking in languages consistent with 19th-century sailors, while infrared footage captures fleeting heat signatures appearing and disappearing without explanation. Perhaps most unsettling was the discovery of claw-like marks gouged into the bark of trees near Haystack Rock, as though something, or someone, had attempted to escape from within. What sets U.S. Route 101 apart from other haunted highways is its ability to evoke both awe and apprehension. Its sweeping vistas and tranquil beaches mask a landscape scarred by tragedy, where the line between life and death feels perilously thin. To travel along Route 101 is to confront the fragility of human existence against the backdrop of nature's raw power. Every curve in the road, every rustle of leaves, carries the weight of stories untold, stories of love, loss, and longing that transcend the boundaries of time. For those brave enough to embark on this haunted odyssey, U.S. Route 101 offers a sobering glimpse into humanity's relationship with the natural world, and perhaps a reminder of the consequences of underestimating its fury. As you navigate its winding paths and peer into the depths of its shadowy forests, remember, the ghosts you encounter may not be figments of imagination. They could very well be echoes of lives cut tragically short, forever tethered to the road that witnessed their demise. Keep your headlights on, stay vigilant, and heed the whispers of the wind, for they may carry messages from those who walk this path before you. The vanishing point of Interstate 5, when roads swallow souls. Interstate 5, the arterial highway stitching together the Pacific Northwest from Canada to Mexico, is a modern marvel of transportation engineering. Spanning over 1,381 miles, it connects major cities like Seattle, Portland, and Sacramento, serving as a vital conduit for commerce, travel, and daily commutes. Yet, beneath its utilitarian purpose lies a sinister secret, a phenomenon known only as the vanishing point, a stretch of I-5 where vehicles, and occasionally their occupants, disappear without a trace. This section of the interstate, located near Mount Shasta in Northern California, has become a focal point for chilling tales and unexplained mysteries, earning it a reputation as one of the most haunted highways in the region. The legend of the Vanishing Point began in the mid-20th century, shortly after the completion of Interstate 5. Construction workers tasked with building the road reported strange occurrences even before it opened to the public. Tools would go missing overnight, only to reappear days later in places no person could reasonably access. Workers claimed to hear disembodied voices whispering warnings, urging them to abandon the project. Some swore they saw shadowy figures standing at the edge of the construction zone, watching silently before melting into the surrounding wilderness. Despite these unsettling experiences, the highway was completed and opened to traffic. But the anomalies did not end there. Over the decades, numerous reports have surfaced of vehicles vanishing along a specific 10-mile stretch near Mount Shasta. Drivers recount entering this segment of I-5 under normal conditions, only to find themselves inexplicably disoriented moments later. GPS systems malfunction, compasses spin erratically, and cell phones lose signal entirely. Witnesses describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they approach the area, as though an unseen force is pulling them toward the center of the highway. Then, without warning, cars simply cease to exist. Emergency responders arriving on the scene find no wreckage, no skid marks, and no signs of struggle, just empty pavement stretching into the horizon. One of the most harrowing accounts comes from a truck driver named Richard Henson, whose chilling testimony has become a cornerstone of the Vanishing Point's lore. In October 1987, Henson was hauling a shipment of produce from Seattle to Los Angeles when he entered the haunted stretch of I-5 near Mount Shasta. According to his logbook, he radioed dispatch shortly after midnight to confirm his location, stating he was approximately 5 miles from the base of the mountain. Minutes later, all communication ceased. A search party launched the following morning discovered Henson's abandoned rig parked neatly on the shoulder, its engines still running and cargo intact. Inside the cab, investigators found a half-empty thermos of coffee, a map marked with a large X near Mount Shasta, and a hastily scrawled note reading, "They're here. Don't follow." Henson himself was never seen again. Local folklore attributes the Vanishing Point to the spiritual significance of Mount Shasta, a sacred site revered by Native American tribes for centuries. Legends speak of portals hidden within the mountain's labyrinthine caves, gateways to alternate dimensions or realms inhabited by ancient beings. Some believe that Interstate 5 inadvertently intersects one of these portals, creating a vortex where reality falters and the boundaries between worlds collapse. Paranormal researchers support this theory, pointing to the unusual geomagnetic activity detected in the area. Instruments designed to measure Earth's magnetic field frequently register erratic spikes near the Vanishing Point, suggesting the presence of an anomaly capable of distorting space and time. Other theories propose a more terrestrial explanation, citing the region's volatile geology as a potential culprit. Mount Shasta is part of the Cascade Volcanic Arc, a chain of active volcanoes prone to seismic activity. Geologists hypothesize that underground lava tubes or fault lines could create sinkholes large enough to swallow vehicles whole. However, this theory fails to account for the disappearance of human occupants, who are often reported missing alongside their cars. Additionally, search efforts utilizing ground-penetrating radar and excavation equipment have yielded no evidence of subsurface cavities or buried debris. What makes the Vanishing Point uniquely terrifying is its unpredictability. Unlike other haunted highways, where encounters typically involve apparitions or auditory phenomena, this stretch of I-5 actively consumes its victims, leaving behind no clues or closure. Survivors of near misses describe feeling an irresistible compulsion to veer off the road, as though an invisible hand is steering their vehicle toward oblivion. Others report seeing ghostly headlights racing alongside them, only to vanish abruptly as they approach the epicenter of the anomaly. Some claim to hear faint laughter or whispered chants emanating from the darkness, growing louder the closer they get to the mountain. Despite, or perhaps because of, its deadly reputation, the Vanishing Point continues to attract thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts eager to test their courage. Countless teams armed with advanced technology have ventured into the area, hoping to document proof of the supernatural. One particularly ambitious expedition involved a convoy of vehicles equipped with drones, thermal cameras, and satellite tracking devices. As they entered the haunted stretch, participants reported experiencing severe disorientation, with dashboard clocks resetting to random times and radio frequencies filling with static-laden voices speaking in unidentified languages. When the convoy emerged hours later, one vehicle, and its driver, were inexplicably absent, their last known position recorded by GPS coordinates that now point to open sky. Authorities advise travelers to exercise extreme caution when approaching the vanishing point, particularly during twilight hours when visibility is lowest. Warning signs installed along the highway urge motorists to maintain high speeds and avoid stopping under any circumstances. Yet, for all the precautions, the disappearances persist, defying logical explanation and fueling speculation about the true nature of the phenomenon. To drive along Interstate 5, near Mount Shasta, is to confront the limits of human understanding. It is a place where science and superstition collide, where the mundane mechanics of travel give way to the unfathomable workings of the unknown. As you navigate its haunted lanes and peer into the shadowy foothills of the mountain, remember, some roads lead not to destinations but to thresholds beyond which lies only mystery. Stay alert, trust your instincts, and pray you never find yourself at the vanishing point, for once you cross it, there may be no coming back. The phantom lights of Highway 12, beacons from beyond winding through the heart of Washington State. Highway 12 cuts a solitary path through rolling hills, dense pine forests, and the vast expanse of the Yakima Valley. Known for its bucolic charm and agricultural abundance, this stretch of road might seem an unlikely candidate for paranormal intrigue. Yet, beneath its pastoral veneer lies one of the Pacific Northwest's most enduring mysteries, the phantom lights of Highway 12. These ghostly illuminations, appearing without warning and defying explanation, have captivated locals and travelers alike for generations, transforming an otherwise ordinary highway into a beacon for the supernatural. The phenomenon first gained attention in the early 1900s, when settlers and farmers reported seeing strange orbs of light hovering above the fields and flickering along the roadside. At first glance, these lights resemble distant headlights or lanterns, but closer inspection reveals their otherworldly nature. Unlike conventional sources of illumination, the phantom lights move erratically, darting across the sky or hovering motionless before vanishing into thin air. Witnesses describe them as varying in color, from pale blue to fiery orange, and size, sometimes appearing as small pinpricks of light, and other times swelling to the dimensions of a full moon. One of the earliest documented accounts dates back to 1917, when a local farmer named Elias Thompson claimed to have encountered the lights while returning home from a late-night harvest. According to his journal, Thompson was driving his horse-drawn wagon along Highway 12 when he noticed a soft, golden glow emanating from a nearby field. Curious, he approached the source, only to find nothing but empty farmland bathed in moonlight. As he turned to leave, the light reappeared directly in front of him, hovering just above the ground. Paralyzed with fear, Thompson watched as the orb grew brighter and larger, casting an eerie radiance over the surrounding landscape. Moments later, it shot skyward, disappearing into the night. Though shaken, Thompson lived to tell the tale, and his account became the foundation for countless similar reports in the decades that followed. Native American tribes indigenous to the region offer their own interpretations of the phantom lights, attributing them to spirits of the land. Elders of the Yakama Nation speak of skywalkers, ethereal beings tasked with guiding lost souls to the afterlife. According to tribal lore, these entities manifest as glowing orbs, using their light to lead the deceased safely across the threshold between worlds. The appearance of such lights near Highway 12 is said to signify unrest among the spirits, often triggered by disturbances to sacred grounds or acts of disrespect toward the earth. Locals who heed these warnings claim to have avoided misfortune, while skeptics who dismiss them as mere superstition risk invoking the wrath of the skywalkers. Modern-day encounters with the phantom lights have only deepened the mystery. In 1968, a family traveling along Highway 12 near White Pass reported seeing a cluster of pulsating red lights hovering above the treetops. Believing they had stumbled upon a UFO, the father pulled over to investigate. As they stepped out of their car, the lights began moving toward them, emitting a low hum that vibrated through the ground. Panicked, the family fled the scene, returning hours later to find indented circles burned into the grass where the lights had hovered. Similar incidents have been reported over the years, with witnesses describing everything from floating spheres to cascading sheets of light descending from the heavens. Paranormal investigators have long been fascinated by the phantom lights of Highway 12, conducting numerous expeditions in hopes of unraveling their origin. Armed with infrared cameras, spectrometers, and electromagnetic field detectors, researchers have captured compelling evidence suggesting the lights possess properties inconsistent with natural phenomena. Thermal imaging footage reveals heat signatures emanating from the orbs, despite ambient temperatures remaining stable. Spectral analysis indicates the presence of gases such as helium and argon, hinting at a plasma-based composition. Most intriguingly, EVP recordings taken during sightings reveal faint whispers and unintelligible phrases, leading some to speculate that the lights serve as conduits for communication from beyond the grave. Skeptics argue that the phantom lights can be explained by atmospheric conditions, such as ball lightning or swamp gas igniting in the humid Yakima Valley. However, these theories fail to account for the light's intelligence and responsiveness to human presence. Multiple witnesses have described instances where the orbs appeared to mimic their movements, following vehicles for miles before abruptly disappearing. Others claim the lights reacted to verbal commands, changing colors or altering trajectories based on shouted instructions. Such behavior challenges the notion that the phenomenon is purely environmental, suggesting instead a sentient or semi-sentient force at play. What sets the phantom lights of Highway 12 apart from other unexplained phenomena is their ability to inspire both wonder and terror. For some, the lights represent a connection to the divine, offering glimpses into realms inaccessible to mortal eyes. For others, they embody a primal fear of the unknown, a reminder that not all mysteries yield to reason or scrutiny. Regardless of perspective, encountering the lights is an experience few forget. Many describe feeling an overwhelming sense of awe as the orbs dance across the horizon, their luminescence painting the night sky with hues unimaginable. Others recount feelings of unease or dread, as though the lights are observing them with intent, probing their thoughts and fears. Today, Highway 12 remains a magnet for those seeking answers, or perhaps validation. Amateur photographers and videographers flock to the area, hoping to capture footage of the elusive lights. Local businesses capitalize on the legend, hosting annual festivals and guided tours designed to introduce visitors to the region's haunted history. Yet, for all the attention it receives, the true nature of the phantom lights remains elusive, defying classification and inviting endless speculation. As you traverse the winding roads of Highway 12, keep your gaze fixed on the horizon and your mind open to possibility. The phantom lights may appear at any moment, beckoning you to witness their fleeting brilliance. But heed this warning: do not stray too far in pursuit of answers, for the line between curiosity and obsession is perilously thin. And should the lights choose to reveal themselves to you, remember, they are not bound by the rules of this world. What they seek, and why they shine, may forever remain a secret written in starlight. Embracing the shadows of the open road as we draw this first chapter of our haunted journey through the Pacific Northwest to a close, let us pause to reflect on the myriad stories that have unfolded before us. From the spectral echoes of U.S. Route 101 to the vanishing mysteries of Interstate 5, from the ghostly lights of Highway 12 to the cursed stretches of Highway 20, we have explored a labyrinth of terror woven with threads of history, emotion, and the supernatural. These highways are not mere ribbons of asphalt cutting through the wilderness. They are corridors of memory, where the past lingers like the scent of rain on dry earth and the whispers of the departed rise with the wind. The Pacific Northwest, with its rugged beauty and untamed spirit, serves as the perfect backdrop for these haunting tales. Its dense forests, jagged peaks, and desolate coastlines provide fertile ground for legends to take root, blending seamlessly with the region's rich cultural heritage. Each highway we've traversed tells a story, not just of the land itself, but of those who have lived, loved, and died upon it. Whether it's the mournful wail of a sailor lost to the graveyard of the Pacific, the desperate plea of a bride forever searching for her husband, or the silent watchfulness of beings beyond human comprehension, these roads remind us that every mile traveled carries the weight of countless lives, this exploration of the Pacific Northwest's haunted highways is far from over. In part 2 of our series, we will venture even deeper into the shadows, uncovering more chilling tales and forgotten legends. We'll delve into highways less traveled, where isolation amplifies fear and the hum of tires on pavement becomes a symphony for the restless dead. Whether you're a skeptic seeking intrigue, or a believer chasing goosebumps, the next installment promises to deliver an unforgettable descent into the unknown. Until then, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, the darkest corners of the open road often hold the brightest truths. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the haunted heart of the Pacific Northwest. Keep your headlights on, we'll see you soon.